Come with me now to the scriptures taken from the Gospel of St. Mark, chapter 8, focusing mainly on verse 36. And it reads like this: For what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his soul? Can I read that again? And would you mind reading it with me if you know how to do it and you're not ashamed? What profit it a man if he shall gain the whole world and lose his soul? You may be seated. When I sent the message in for them to put up for you all to read today, Sam was upset, disturbed, fearful, broken. Texted me this morning, called me this morning, and said to me, Reverend, did you leave the sermon subject out? No. He said, but Reverend, you only had one word. I said, I know. He said, just that one word, that one. That's where the focus point is. Because a lot of times y'all leave here and you couldn't tell nobody what I preached that Sunday if you had to. It's too many words. You won't write it down. You try to remember. No, you can't remember your own name. And you're going to try to remember the whole sermon subject and where it was, etc. So I made it simple for you today. The sermon subject is and. Yes. And. One word. They still trying to figure out how to put it up on there. Spell it A-N-D. And. Not A-N-N. That's a different and. A-N-D. What profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Now, that implies that it is not impossible for you to profit. This guy that's dealing with these computers, and he's a multi-billionaire, and he flips his mind of what he wants and what he don't want and when he wants it and how he wants it and where he wants it. But then he gets mad and decides, overnight, I'm going to do something different. But how much money would you need to be satisfied? How much? If you hit the lottery, the one that's in, by the way, is if the Powerball lottery in Jersey the same as the Powerball lottery in Pennsylvania? Two different ones. Let you know what I don't know. But the issue is, if you hit the lottery for 500 million, would that be enough to satisfy you? No. Because then you want everybody to know you got it. And everybody's going to be after you. Could you help a brother out? You know what I'm saying. Just the other day, and I stay broke because I'm always helping people. And the other day I was looking for a funeral that I was supposed to be at. I wasn't on program, but I promised I'd be there. And I got frustrated after an hour of searching. Now, I'm in Trenton, so Trenton ain't that big. But I never got to the funeral. And I felt broken and I felt hurt because I had disappointed someone. And then when I called them, they phoned me. I said, okay, idiot, they're in the funeral. The phone's off. They can't hear you. And I left feeling broken. When you try your best and your best is not good enough, it ought to make a difference in who you are. Say, but I tried. But how many of you don't even try? You just assume, well, I thought about it. But had that been you, how would you have felt if you had tried and tried and tried and still missed it? I felt guilty. I felt responsible. I felt I had not done my very best. I wrote the address down. Stop looking at me like that, Michelle. I wrote it down. I did. It was at the house on the table where I left it. Have you ever put something down and you meant to pick it up and take it with you, and Have you ever looked for something and you couldn't find it, but it was right there in your hand? That's a good sign of the years of adding up. But what I've learned to do, when I've done my best, I've learned to turn to the Lord and say, but I tried. Forgive me for my failure, but I tried. Most of you read the Bible and you skip what you consider as insignificant words. But the Lord wanted me to make sure you understand that one word, and. Because it's not that he don't want you to have prosperity. But sometimes when you have prosperity, you forget about him. You're too bragging about what you got. You want your family to know. You want your friends to know. You even want people that don't know you to know about you, your new shoes, your new outfit. Have you ever put something on and you hope somebody just notice it? I got a snicker right there. Apparently my daughter been there. But what I've learned though is I stopped worrying about what they think. Because what you think don't amount to a hill of beans. It's about what I know about who I am. It's about what he knows about who I am. And he not only looks at my outside, he looks at my inside. I've heard people say that they don't believe that there is a God. I've heard people say they don't believe in hell and Satan. They don't believe in this and that and the other. Always, I don't believe. But what you're going to say the day that you have to see him? Satan convinces you that you've done wrong, you're doing wrong, and you're going to keep on doing wrong. So why go up there and give your life to the Lord? You're just lying. You know you belong to me and I own you. That's what Satan's telling you. He's telling you that you're so no good, that only he deserves you. But what he's really telling you is that don't believe in him. I know, because I wrestle. Y'all going to have to lock me up. It ain't going to be long. Because the older I get, the dumber I get. But on my way here this morning, I was thinking about the message, and I said, I wonder if ants pray. I wonder, does a mosquito have a mind? I wonder, I'm trying to figure out, does a tick know the difference between life and death? Because everything, including grass, dies. But only you have a soul. They don't. So once they're dead, where do they go? Do they just return to the earth and that's it? I tell you what, God, that's beyond me. I'm not going to deal with it. Let me talk to you. And I can gain the whole world beyond $500 million. I don't want to be a billionaire. I could be a zillionaire. Is there a gazillion? But the question is, after I got all of that and died, now what? Am I just dead? Is that the end of it? Or is there more? I'm not afraid of death because everything dies. Because if I could get my hands on Adam and Eve, we'd have a discussion. Oh, I would teach them too. I wish you would eat that fruit. I'll get me a stick and beat because you don't know what death is. You fool with the fruit, but you don't, because nobody had died at that point. The word had no meaning because nobody had ever died. So therefore, how do I fear what has never happened? But now that I know, I wish God would let me go back in time and stand at the tree and say, come on, stupid. Both of you, male and female, come on. I got something for you. You won't leave this tree. All the trees in the garden, and you want this one. And now you don't even know why you want that tree. You think that fruit look better than any? I wish you would eat. Put your hand down. You don't reach out for that apple, and you don't even know what an apple is. You never tasted an apple. Now all of a sudden you want to reach for that one. If I became Gorbachev or Putin or whomever and ruled the whole world and lose my soul, I mean, how much is your soul worth? How much would I have to give you for you to give me your soul? I mean, if you give me your soul, it's mine. I do with it as I want to do with it. But it was yours. You could do with it whatever you want. You could come and go with it as you want. You can rise and fall with it as you want. You can lie on it, steal from it, but it's yours. You're not doing me any favors because you go to church. Of course, now, it is my job. It is my duty. It is my responsibility. It is my love to talk to you about Jesus. But when my most pain comes is when you lay here and you paid me no attention. So why do you go to church? Let me rephrase. Why does your family bring you into church after you died when you didn't go to church while you was alive? Why do you call me to come sit by your bed as you are dying? When while you were living, you didn't have time for God. You didn't pray. You didn't treat people right. But now you're dying. All of a sudden, just in case there is a God, you want to go to his heaven. What right do you have to die and have expectations of going to glory? What have you done that makes you think you have a right to even call his name? You haven't tithed. You haven't gone to church. You think the church is all about money. You think everybody in the church is a hypocrite. You think they're all liars. Don't you know that's Lucifer whispering in your ear? It's him trying to convince you that you don't need to go to church. What profit of a man to gain the whole world, every country, every nickel in every country, and lose your soul? When all you had to do, well, let me tell you what else I know Satan does. He'll put you off and tell you, well, I'll do it next Sunday. I wish there was some brave folks in here who ever said, I'll do it next Sunday. Or maybe you say, I'll do it next month. I'm going to wait till my husband comes. What if that sloucher rascal don't never come? Or mama didn't raise me up in church, and that's the reason I don't go. What that got to do with you not getting to know whom the Lord is? Or have you ever had this naggingness in you that says, I need to do better? But that's all you say. You don't do anything. You just keep on doing what you're doing, and you figure God's going to forgive you anyway, and he's just so wonderful. And if there is a God, he'll forgive me. It don't work like that. For it said, every knee must bow. I'm quoting scripture now. Every knee must bow. Every tongue will confess. But don't get to glory and then discover that Christ died ineffectual to you because you chose not to believe in Jesus Christ. Well, I don't take all of that. I ain't got to go. Scripture says you need to confess with your mouth and believe in your heart, and thou shalt be. It didn't say might be. It didn't say could be. Well, I got a few things I got to straighten up. You can't straighten your life up without God in your life. It is impossible. That's Lucifer convincing you, well, you got time. How many people have laid down last night but didn't get up this morning? How many people who said, I'm going to church next Sunday, but next Sunday never shows up. Putin killing folks because he want to own their property. And if he get their property, does it make him any richer? Does it make him any better? Is anybody going to love him anymore? Have you noticed people running out of Russia? Because somebody figured it out that what you're doing, Putin, is wrong. I did not want to do Facebook. I fought my IT man for quite a while because I didn't want to do Facebook. Because there's a verse in the Bible, Old Testament, that says, forsake not the assembling of yourselves. That was another trick of Lucifer to get you out of God's house. So now you won't feel as guilty by being bedside Baptist. Have you, don't raise your hand, don't put nobody in your business. Have you ever meant to go to church tomorrow, but it was raining, and so you chose not? Oh, well, I'll go next Sunday. Now here comes the kicker. But you got up and went to work in the rain Monday. See how insignificant the lie was? If he shall gain the whole world, and, meaning you can have one or the other, you can't have both. You can have the fine houses and the supercalifragilisticexpialidocious clothes. You know, them shoes that you paid $300 for, but you've been eating bologna all week. I'm going to hit somebody shortly. You know that car that you're driving to impress other folks, but you ain't made a note in 3 months? Don't worry about it. They're going to come get it. Been there, done that, trying to impress folks. That's the reason I stopped buying to impress you, because not one of you ever offered to help me while I was struggling. And when it was taken away and things changed and the ex-wife left me and things, I just thought, God, what? And he said, now that I got your attention. I said, oh, it didn't take all that. Yes, it did. Because you were too busy trying to impress people. And I wanted to talk to you, but I had to move all your stuff. And now that I got, thank you, Reverend. You're back here preaching behind me. Now that I got your attention, let's talk. Now, it wasn't that God wasn't talking to me all along, because he was. He just wasn't saying nothing I wanted to hear. When he went to talking to me about going and preaching, to what? I said, I want you to preach. Why? I'm only 15 and you talking to me about preaching. I have not lived yet. I have not done the things I'm supposed to do. I had made up and, Servcie. I was going to rock the world. Wasn't I 15? And God said to me, you will either serve me or you will deal with me. I thought about it, I said, now serve, that ain't too bad. That dealing part. I didn't like the way that sounded. He got my attention in a storm, and lightning was flashing and hitting on either side of me, and the wind was blowing, and all of a sudden a hole appeared in the sky, in the cloud. And he came straight to me, and I heard his voice. But I didn't want to go. I'm 15. I got life to live, things to do. But I got drenched in that storm. When I got to the house and I said to my grandmother, Mama, the Lord has called me to preach. She said, oh my God, the boy's on drugs. Now, nobody want to hear that at that point. But I want you to catch what and ever since then, my brother, I love him so dearly, and he talks about how the Lord blesses me to tell you these stories that make you get a picture of what life can be for you. I don't serve God because I need a new house. I'm not serving God because I need another car. I mean, my bank account is funny. Lord, no, it ain't even funny, Michelle. The bank done started calling me. There ain't nothing to draw, nothing from nothing leaves. Oh, y'all heard that, did you? But the Lord just keep on blessing me. Today, someone gave me an envelope. I'm not going to call their name out to you, but they gave me an envelope first of the month of October. And I kept carrying it around. And finally, Lord, look in the envelope. What for? I already took out what was in the envelope. He said, you took out some of it. I looked down the envelope. It was dark. I couldn't see. You stick your hand in there. I stuck, do what? Stick my hand in there. Stuck my hand in there. What is that? And I pulled it out and said, oh my God. Now, what's today's date? Anybody know? Today's 23rd. I did say first of the month, right? There was a check in there from someone made out October 1st for $150. Had it, needed it, didn't know already had it. Just found it out today. For you ask, no, I don't know if it's any good. So don't even come up and say, can you help me out a little bit? But what I've discovered is, even when I'm not looking for stuff, God blessed me. I went to see somebody. I won't call their name. I won't even call their gender. And I went to see them this month. And when I went to see them and talked with them and had prayer with them, and when I got ready to leave, that person said, notice I won't even tell you the gender of the person. And he said, well, now you know. Said to me, take this. I said, take what? This. Opened his hand and stuck it in my hand. He said, don't look at it, just put it in your pocket. I did, and you know I couldn't wait to get to the car to see what it was. Jesus, I couldn't wait. And when I stuck my hand in the pocket to see as I got in the car, let me see what this is. Gee, it wasn't a check. It was a $50 check, $50 cash. Because I come to visit you? No, because you love me. Because when everybody else threw me away, you were always there. Whenever I called you, you always came running. That's why. He said, don't you dare give it back to me. God forbid I have that thought. I saw some sketches I want. What profited it a man to gain the world? Let's say that I'm the most richest man in all of the world and die without Jesus. Now, it wouldn't be so bad, daughters, if that was the end of the story. But it said, and lose your soul. Y'all ain't catching it. You're just sitting right there. The body is one thing. The soul is something else. And since Adam and Eve did what they did, it has always been determined you definitely going to die. But death ain't your problem. Where the soul going? Where you going to spend eternity? Matter of fact, when you get home, look in the mirror and tell me what your soul look like. You worried about you got 20 pounds you need to lose. I've never heard of a fat soul. You worried about that your hair turning gray or falling out, either way. But you don't even know if a soul got hair. You don't know now that you're 70, 80, and 90 years old what a soul at that age looks like. But you know you got a soul. Where is that soul going for the rest of eternity? What profited a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? Women, come here, close. Don't let the men hear what I'm finished. Just listen. Focus your eyes on here. Wake up anybody close to you sleep. You spend all your money to get your nails done, get your eyelashes, them fake ones y'all be wearing, stick them on now. Did I say something? Did I cross that line? Look out there and see if they're smiling. But, and then that hair that belonged to the bear, I mean to somebody else, but you bought it. You started spending your money to try to look better. But have you ever wondered what you look like to the Lord? On the inside as well as on the outside. You put on, you wear that beautiful perfume that, Jesus, Lord, yes, oh Lord, my knees getting weak. Because you got that perfume on that you spent $99 for. 250, Michelle. I can smell you all the way from here, baby. But what do you smell like to God? What do you look like to God? Not just on the outside, but on the inside. If anybody here ever looked in the mirror and wished you had a different look, and then trying to create that look? And even if you created it, then when the party is over and you got to take all that off, you still there. Because makeup won't cover up ugly. Go start the car, Sister Harris. We got to leave here in a hurry. You got to understand that you don't have the right to try to pretend. You don't even know what your soul looks like. And it says, and lose his own soul. You only got one. You can't make me lose my soul. You can't even take my soul. You can't slap my soul. You can't cuss my soul because he don't care. But it's still mine. What are you getting at, preacher? Hurry up. I'm tired now. My booty's hurting. Your soul is your soul. Can't nobody take it from you. Satan can't even take it from you. He wants it, but he wants it so he can make him sorry he ever made you. Satan's task is to bring you down. And I'm used to him trying to bring me down. Matter of fact, I look forward to it. But what I don't need to do is hand him my soul. At least I ought to try. At least I ought to call on the Lord in the midnight hour. At least I ought to forgive my enemies who always turn against me. At least I ought to pray and say, God, I'm sorry. I made another mistake. How many is that? I don't know. I just keep making them. But save me from me. I don't need the money if it's going to make me lose my soul. What can I can't buy a soul. They're not for sale at Macy's or Targets. Excuse me, that's right, Target. Souls are not on sale, but you can lose it. You. I can't take your soul. I can't mess up your soul. It's your soul. It's the most precious thing you got. You won the lottery last night, you just don't know. But what profited a man to gain the whole world and lose the soul? Go ahead, party all you want. Dance till you can't, because after a while, there's some folks in here, I'm willing to tell you right now, they used to party. Woo. But Arthur showed up one morning. And that they used to swiggle and wish and move. Now they be trying. Just trying to get to the seat to sit down. Don't laugh. Your turn coming. What I'm trying to get you to understand, it's not the party. Do I have to? Okay. Don't worry about what you got. Because that's what's on the outside. And when we put it in the grave, ain't nobody going to pay that no attention. It's after you die. Now what? You're more worried about getting to work on time than y'all getting to the Lord's house. Why do you come to church, Harris? I come because it's here that I get strength to go another week. I come because it's here I get to unite with you and talk to God in prayer, and we unite in our efforts and talk to and admit that we got issues. Is it anybody other than me got issues in this church? You on Facebook, anybody raise your hand if you got issues with yourself, knowing that you're struggling with what's going on. But now the question is, stop struggling. Yield to the will of God. He sent his only begotten son. There go another word. Only. He ain't got no more. One son he sent to die for your sin. And now all you got to do is to confess it with your mouth, believe it in your heart, and thou shalt be saved. All right, preacher, what do I do now? Well, you've already confessed with your mouth. You've already believed in your heart. You've already done all of that. But what else? Let's rededicate my life and say, Lord, I've erred in my way, but I still believe in you. I've made mistakes, but I'm trusting in you. I'm asking you, God, take hold of my life. Give me another chance. Start me all over again. Don't let me go to hell out of stupidity. And don't let me follow nobody else there. I want to spend my life in glory. How would you feel as I go? To get to glory, because you will see it. And the gates, you will see them. And him, you will see him. And then he said, go from me, ye worker of iniquity. You played church. You part-time lovers. You made other folks think you love me. But the truth is, you just wanted to have an upper hand, just in case. You didn't really believe. You just faked the phone. But I'm asking you, if you die right now, where would your soul spend eternity? Reverend, you've talked to us harsh. No, I haven't. I've talked to me and let you hear the story. What profited a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul?